guys? So a new video. Before I started, the Game of Thrones video is going to come out sometime next week. My friend's almost done watching season 1. I've already been done with it. Already got my notes written down, so we're really excited to do it. But to get to the video, so today I want to tell you a tragic story of a television show that was stopped too soon. Ash vs. Evil Dead. You may not like the show, and if you don't, that's fine. I completely understand if you don't like the show. It's not for everybody, but I feel like it was canceled way too soon. If you don't know what Ash vs. Evil Dead is, it is a television show based off the films Evil Dead, and it's kind of a continuation of the first and the second movie. I don't know about Army of Darkness. I don't know if that has anything to do with the television show. If it does, fantastic, but it ran for 3 seasons on the Stars network, and the reason for its cancellation was because not enough people were watching it. And I have a theory on why no one was watching it. But the show starred Bruce Campbell returning to his legendary role playing Ash Williams, and I feel like he brought 100% into this. He gave everything he had into this role, and this show was basically a big fucking love letter to every single Evil Dead fan, including myself, because I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. And they use practical effects, some CGI, but most of them are practical effects. And it's very true to the movies. It is very fucking true to the movies. They don't change a fucking thing. It is very much like the movies. And this could be basically one huge ass movie, because they don't even change the way they film it. It is filmed like the older Evil Dead films, and it's awesome. And the Deadites don't change designs. The Deadites look just like they did in the movies, which is fantastic. That's awesome. They act just like the way they did in the movies, which this is awesome. This is mainly because Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi had creative control over it. They wanted to be very faithful to the movies. They didn't want to change nothing because they wanted us to be the biggest love letter to the fans. And I think, I don't know how many seasons it was supposed to run, but I have a feeling they were going to go for 4 to 5 seasons. But as you know, it didn't turn out that way. We only got 3 seasons, and if you've never seen the show, I will not spoil the ending, but season 3 ends on the biggest cliffhanger that I've seen for a television show, and now we won't see how that concludes because the show's gone. But I hear they're making a video game, and if they are making a video game, I want it to be like They would be cool if they did it like the Mad Max video game, where it's like you play as Ash Williams and you fight Deadites and new kind of Deadites and all that while you're driving your car and all that. And that would be really cool. If you never played the Mad Max game, it's done by the guys who made Just Cause, and they did a perfect recreation of the Mad Max films in video game form. They can do the same thing for Evil Dead and call it Ash vs. Evil Dead, you know, Apocalypse, because that's what it basically is. And I'm going to go into spoilers on how it ends. So, when Ash Williams finally defeats the big demon, I haven't seen the show in a while, I forgot his name, but he was in a tank, the tank drops, he gets knocked unconscious, and you think he's dead, but he's not. He wakes up in this room. It looks very futuristic. He has a new prosthetic robot hand that's like the skin color of him, and he walks with this woman to a modified car, which looks like something straight out of fucking Mad Max. And he gets in it, the door opens, and you see the wasteland of what used to be where he's from. I think it's Jacksonville, Florida, the wasteland of Jacksonville, Florida. And the last line of the show is, "How do you feel, my king?" And Ash says, "Groovy." And he says, "Yeah," and he drives the car, and that's the end of the show. We don't get to see any more after that. It's a shame the show had to end. It was a very good and faithful television show that stayed true to its source material, and it didn't get enough credit. And the reason why I think it failed is because it didn't get enough advertisements, in my opinion. They barely advertised the show. They were advertising The Walking Dead, which, again, I have to stress, I think is the most overrated fucking television show ever made. This is my opinion. No, I enjoy Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad, but Walking Dead is like really overrated. I love the first season. The first season is undeniably good. It is Frank Darabont directing it, and he did an amazing job with the first season. But after that, it went straight downhill, and I don't very much care about Walking Dead anymore. And they weren't advertising Ash vs. Evil Dead, so no one really knew about the show. And I think the other reason is that it was on the Starz network, which, fine, Game of Thrones is very successful, it's on HBO, you have to pay for HBO, but Ash vs. Evil Dead, it has such a small fan base that you can't really put it on a paid channel and expect people to pay for it. They're going to download it illegally. Why not put it on something like AMC? You know, do what they did with Preacher and Breaking Bad, just put it on AMC. Or put it on FX with the streaming. But I understand why they did it, because they wanted to put, like, they wanted to swear, they wanted to put more gore in it, and the television networks wouldn't allow them to do that except for Starz and HBO. But why not put it on HBO? Because HBO advertises the fuck out of their shows, good or bad. They could have advertised the fuck out of Ash vs. Evil Dead and would have gotten a lot more viewers. But it was advertised towards the Starz network, which they don't have that many good shows. I can't even name one besides Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's the reason why I got Starz, was to watch Ash vs. Evil Dead. But they barely advertise it, not even on social network. I go on Facebook all the time. I think they had maybe one advertisement, like here they did billboards, but that wasn't enough. You have to put it on television, you have to put it on, put it on Facebook. A lot of people go on fucking Facebook. They could have put the advertisements on Facebook. I think they did it. There's like a few ads here and there, but I think it's because no one knew about it, except for the die-hard Evil Dead fans. And this show could have introduced a lot of people to Evil Dead. You don't even have to watch the movie to understand the story of Ash vs. Evil Dead. They do a breakdown of the Evil Dead history in the first episode. So it wasn't because people were like confused by it. No, they could have watched the first episode and got the Evil Dead backstory without even watching the movies. Hell, it could have introduced them to the movies. But this show came and went, and it's sad it only lasted 3 seasons. I own all 3 on Vudu. I watch it all the time because it's a well-made show. It's very faithful to its source material. It's like a big-ass long Evil Dead film. And it was such a shame to see it go. And it really sucks. And I really do hope that if we're lucky enough, they'll come back to do a season 4 to conclude, or at least make the video game the season 4 we never got. Because Bruce Campbell did say he's doing doing voice work for a video game playing Ash, but he's retired from doing Ash like anything in movies and TV. But he said he's not doing retiring from video games. He's gonna do this video game and fully retire Ash. But it's a shame, and I really hope they come back, because I do think Ash vs. Evil Dead is one of the most underrated shows next to Preacher and next to Happy. And I do think this show deserves a lot more. It deserved a lot more attention than what it got. And when I heard the news it was canceled, it literally broke my heart. It was so sad to see it go. But thank you guys for watching this random ass video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.